Have you ever slowly stopped caring about someone without telling them? No fight. No dramatic goodbye. No final conversation. Just a quiet shift. One day you still try, and the next day you don't. Your messages get shorter. Your energy disappears. And eventually, they don't even realize you already left. But the strange part is this. You didn't stop caring suddenly. It happened slowly. Almost invisibly. Like something inside your mind was quietly closing a door. So why do some people do this? Why do they give chance after chance? Say nothing. And then one day disappear emotionally forever? The answer isn't coldness. It's psychology. And it begins much earlier than you think. At first you try. You explain how you feel. You try to be patient. You tell yourself they'll understand eventually. But something strange happens over time. You start noticing small things. They don't listen carefully. They forget what matters to you. They dismiss something important. Not once, but repeatedly. And each moment feels small. So you don't react strongly. You tell yourself, it's not a big deal. They didn't mean it. Maybe I'm overthinking. So you stay quiet. But inside your mind, something begins to record everything. Psychologists call this emotional accumulation. Your brain quietly stores every disappointment, every ignored boundary, every moment you felt unseen. Individually, they seem harmless. But together, they form a pattern. And the hardest part is this. You often keep showing up normally. You laugh. You talk. You reply to messages. But inside, something subtle is changing. Your brain is slowly learning a conclusion. This person isn't emotionally safe. And when that conclusion becomes strong enough, you stop trying. Not loudly. Just silently. But to understand why this happens, we need to look at what your brain is actually doing. If you've ever silently given up on someone, you might worry something is wrong with you. Maybe you think you were avoidant, cold, emotionally distant. But psychology suggests something different. Your brain is not abandoning people randomly. It's protecting your emotional energy. Human relationships rely on something psychologists call reciprocity. It's a simple principle. Effort should move in both directions. When it doesn't, your brain experiences a subtle form of emotional imbalance. And the mind hates imbalance. Because relationships are one of the brain's biggest survival systems. For thousands of years, being connected meant safety. Being ignored meant risk. So your brain constantly evaluates. Is this relationship safe and stable? When the answer slowly becomes no, your mind adapts. Not not by exploding, but by withdrawing. And this adaptation often happens silently. But what mechanism causes that quiet shutdown? That part happens deep inside your emotional brain. Inside your brain, there is a system constantly tracking emotional rewards. Neuroscientists often link this to dopamine prediction system. Your brain doesn't just react to what happens. It predicts what should happen. Here's a simple mental model. Imagine your brain like a relationship thermostat. At the beginning of a relationship, the temperature is warm. Kindness. Attention. Understanding. Every positive interaction confirms your brain's prediction. Dopamine rises. Connection feels safe. But when someone repeatedly disappoints you, your brain experiences something called a prediction error. It expected care. It received indifference. Each mismatch slowly lowers the thermostat, and your brain begins adjusting expectations. At first you feel frustrated, then disappointed. Eventually, you feel nothing. This emotional numbness is not apathy. It's emotional disengagement, a defense mechanism studied in behavioral psychology. Your brain essentially decides. If effort doesn't change the outcome, stop investing. This is the same learning process behind something called extinction learning. If an action stops producing rewards, the brain gradually stops doing it. In relationships, the action is emotional effort, and the reward is being understood, valued, or respected. When the reward disappears long enough, your brain quietly stops trying. Which is why silent withdrawal feels sudden to other people. But to you, it was months of learning. And once the brain reaches that conclusion, reconnection becomes extremely difficult. Unless something changes. So how do you protect your energy without silently abandoning people too early? That requires a different approach. Instead of waiting until your brain shuts down, there are ways to intervene earlier. Not by forcing connection, but by guiding your brain toward healthier patterns. Here are 4 psychologically grounded principles. 1. Name disappointment early. What to do? Say something small when something bothers you. Not dramatically. Just clearly. Example. When that happened earlier, I felt a little ignored. Why it works. The brain processes unspoken emotions as unresolved cognitive load. When feelings stay unexpressed, the brain keeps replaying them. This strengthens negative emotional memory. Expressing them early interrupts that loop.